Welcome and thank you for joining our first virtual Open Studio here at Cornell Tech. Open Studios are our end of semester event where we present and showcase the projects that the students have been working on over the whole semester. Normally we'd invite you here to campus, but unfortunately we can't do that. Nevertheless, we put together a great program that I think you're going to enjoy. For those of you who may be less familiar with Cornell Tech, let me say a few words. We're Cornell University's groundbreaking campus right here in New York City, focused around graduate engineering, research, and education, which in partnership with the Technion Israel Institute of Technology brings together the best minds in fields such as computer science, operations research, electrical engineering, together with law, policy, and design to build a better world. When I took the position as the Dean of Cornell Tech just last summer, I never could have imagined such an eventful first year on the job. But our students have pushed through the craziness that we've seen, including a mid-semester shift to online classes, and built some incredible products that I think you're going to enjoy seeing. Let me say a few words about the studio itself. The studio curriculum is one of the key differentiators of a Cornell Tech education. It's where disciplines I mentioned earlier, computer science, electrical engineering, operations research, business, law, all come together to design and build products. In addition to cross-disciplinary teams, the studio is where we bring in industry practitioners to work with the students. Working with the tech industry, especially here in New York City, is part of the mission of the Cornell Tech campus, and our goal is to train students and build companies that are not only commercially viable, but that lead to a better, more ethical, and more sustainable world. Open Studio plays a vital role in meeting that mission. I was fortunate to attend Open Studio a few years ago, back when Cornell Tech was over in the Google building, and I left that event impressed by what the students are able to pull together in just a single semester. But this year, getting to see firsthand how much hard work goes in behind the scenes, I'm really blown away. So Open Studio gives our students a chance to really show off in front of their friends, their family, and the broader New York City technology community, and I hope they'll appreciate it. Together with our Runway postdoc program, Studio spun out over 60 companies in the short lifetime of this campus, and over 90% of those have been headquartered right here in New York City. They've raised over $80 million in venture funding, and 6 of those companies have been acquired already. So that's quite an impact in just a short amount of time. So let me give you a preview of what you're going to see in the program today. You'll hear about Startup Studio from Thatcher Bell, and then see pitches from the Startup Award finalists, followed by a live announcement of the winners. After the winners are announced, we invite you to learn more about all of the student and postdoc projects in our virtual demo space. There you'll have the opportunity to join breakout rooms with students, postdocs, and some former Cornell Tech spinouts for a live Q&A. I want to thank the students for their continued dedication, hard work, and perseverance throughout this semester, especially with the online experience, and the over 22 companies that partnered with our students and helped them so much. Finally, I'd like to say a big thanks to the Open Studio team for all their hard work around this event, but also for pivoting the entire curriculum in just a couple of days to go online. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the show.
One of the challenges is bridging the gap between the ideas generated in an academic institution and the products that people use every day. Cornell Tech was created in no small part to bridge that gap.
The Startup Studio is an applied learning methodology that we've brought to Cornell, which allows every student that comes into the school to start their own company.
The studio curriculum is a perfect opportunity for us to take what we learn in class and apply it to the real world.
It's about building, iterating, and showing, the clients or the potential end users your product as you go. So whenever you get their feedback, you kind of take it in, marinate on it, and then, pivot your product accordingly.
We bring in practitioners from all over the New York City community, and these are entrepreneurs, CTOs, head of products from great companies that are coming in, meeting with the students and giving them feedback.
A team can learn as much from a 10-minute interaction with a professional who knows the product space that team is working in as they would get out of months of work on their own.
I think the opportunity for one of the companies that starts in the studio to leave here and become something that's foundational in New York, to build a great company that the world knows about, it's real and it's going to happen.
Hi, I'm Thatcher Bell, Head of Startups at Cornell Tech. I want to talk to you briefly about Studio, Startup Awards, and the agenda for today. I'm just one member of our Studio team, a collection of instructors with real-world experience we try to bring into the classroom. People like Josh Hartman, 4-time CTO of companies like Intent Media and Travelocity, who's our Chief Practice Officer, Chad Dickerson, the former CEO of Etsy, and Brad Horowitz, the VP of Product at Google, who are big co-instructors, Fernando Gomez Baquero, PhD and former founder, head of spinouts and Runway, and Aaron Holliday and myself, who try to bring our venture capital investing experience into the classroom. I'm lucky to work with this team and other practitioners in the studio, as well as our outstanding staff, Leandra Elberger, Studio Director, and Tyler Rorick, Studio Ops. You've heard me use the term studio a few times now, so let's define that. At Cornell Tech, Studio is a collection of classes in which students from all majors work together in teams to apply their academic knowledge to real-world problems. A couple key elements of Studio. Sprint, a 24-hour period to work on your project with your team when no other classes are scheduled at Cornell Tech. That happens 3 times per term. And Crit, an opportunity to discuss your product and business with external practitioners, designers, engineers, founders, investors. That happens 4 times per term. Startup Studio is my class. It's one of our spring course offerings in the studio. Students take either it or BigCo Studio as the capstone of their studio program. In Startup Studio, teams of 2 to 6 students create new startups and new products over the course of the term. This is our 7th year of Startup Studio. In the first year, we had fewer than 10 students. This year, we had 186 students in 46 teams, facing the challenges of entrepreneurship as they built new products, attracted initial users, developed their business models, and learned to pitch. This year, of course, the teams faced a new challenge. COVID-19 impacted every aspect of Studio. Our last in-person class was March 5th. We made the final decision to go to virtual classes on March 10th, which we did on March 12th. And that quick transition I credit to our Studio team. 2 of our 3 sprints have been virtual, and our last 2 crits have been virtual as well. Our final presentations for class have been recorded, and the Startup Award presentations you'll see today have been recorded. In short, the teams have been founding companies without being in the same room as their co-founders or their initial users, and the students have risen to this challenge. When we had our first class on Zoom back on March 12th, most of our students were still trying to figure out what they were going to do as their lives were upended by COVID. And nonetheless, nearly every student attended that class. In our last sprint, I was talking to one team over Zoom, and at one point asked them, "Where is everybody?" And one of the students answered that he was in Shanghai working with his team while it was 4 a.m. local time. You'll see that perseverance in today's videos, beginning with the 10 videos from the Startup Award finalists. About the Startup Awards, up to 4 student teams will win $100,000 in value, including cash and mentorship and resources from Cornell Tech. 24 teams applied this year, and 10 have been selected as finalists. This is also our 7th year of Startup Awards, and previous winners have gone on to raise additional capital from venture capitalists and to find exits to get acquired. So for the rest of the day, what you'll see are those 10 startup finalist presentations. You'll learn more about BigCo Studio and the Runway and Spinout programs. You'll hear the announcement of the winners of the Startup Awards. You'll have a chance to hear from and interact with a variety of the teams from different Spring Studio programs. So thank you for joining us, and I encourage you to interact and engage with students both during today's program and after.
Hey everyone, my name's Samson Shermer, and this is my co-founder Mike Kosnick, and it's my pleasure to introduce our company EnRoute.
This is our teammate Tall. Tall went to the hospital for a scheduled x-ray. Afterward, the nurse told him to wait for a transporter that would take him back to the other department. So Tall waited, and waited, and waited. After 2 hours, he was finally able to get someone's attention, only to find out that he had been lost in the transportation system. Maybe you can relate to Tall, because he's certainly not alone. In fact, studies show that 1/3 of hospital delays result from problems with patient transportation. Each day, a 1,500-bed hospital moves 1,400 patients. And each trip requires planning, scheduling, and oversight. After spending time in hospitals, this is what we saw. Constant phone calls asking the same questions. This makes the whole process messy and frustrating for everyone involved. Ultimately, there are two root causes: a lack of accurate data and poor coordination across departments. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted this problem as it's pushed hospital capacity beyond its limits. This is why now, in this new normal, being efficient in hospitals is a must-have. This is where we come in. En route is an end-to-end patient transportation platform. So now put yourself in the nurse's shoes. With a few taps on your smartphone, you can set the pickup and drop-off details for your patients. This creates a request queue that stores the details of each transport. We also provide the dispatcher with full visibility of where people are throughout the hospital so they can easily match transporters to requests. Then the transporters get the requests and can see exactly where they need to go and what they need to pick up on the way. No phone calls, no delays, no frustration. Just seamless transportation.
Now, the solution you just saw won us a healthcare innovation competition in Israel and got us our first customer. The judging panel at the event of WHO representatives, well-known VCs, and hospital executives believed that our product would provide a simple yet effective solution to a huge problem. At a 1,500-bed hospital using en route, we could cut the average trip time almost in half, double the efficiency of every working transporter, and generate nearly $2 million in total benefits across the hospital. En route is uniquely positioned to provide real-time location data without any additional hardware. Only 10% of hospitals in the US have an RTLS system, and even fewer have one focused on the transportation process. Our solution, combining this technology and a focus on the transporter, allows hospital staff to make better informed decisions that ultimately lead to improved patient outcomes. We see en route operating in the fast-growing indoor healthcare logistics market and later expanding into the broader market, which is growing roughly 40% annually. We've also learned that almost half of a hospital expenditures are logistics related, and we think this provides a huge opportunity for our business.
Now, the silver lining to COVID-19 is that it's creating the perfect storm for health tech innovation. Hospitals are desperate for solutions, so you're seeing a lot of outside funding coming in. Meanwhile, regulation and procurement processes are softening. This is lowering the barrier for health tech adoption and accelerating digital transformation.
We've spent the first half of this year refining our idea and creating our go-forward plan. Looking ahead, we will continue to build out our product, and we will ensure that we are compliant with all healthcare regulations before deploying in Israel later this year. After we are able to prove our ROI with Ichilov, we will create a case study that we can then share with prospective hospital clients in the future.
Onboarding is really quick and painless. The cool thing about our product is all it takes to map the hospital is someone simply walking through it with their smartphone. Our intuitive user interface makes training staff really straightforward so that we can begin a 3-month paid pilot in as little as 3 weeks. Once we've hit specific KPIs during that pilot, we'll propose an annual licensing fee based on the size of the hospital.
Starting with routing and transportation, the data we collect and the technology we develop will enable us to streamline all logistics-related activities for our customers. Our vision is to become the trusted end-to-end optimization partner powering smart hospitals of the future, and then to one day take our technology and optimize indoor logistics-related activities across all industries.
Samson and I have experience in technology, finance, and strategy, and we are lucky to have a team of both product and business professionals helping to push en route forward. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Will. I'm a former corporate strategist, and this is my co-founder and CTO, Nate. Nate's a Microsoft engineer who built for Skype and Teams. Together, we're building Horizon, the future of remote work. Remote work is front of mind for all of us. COVID-19 has forced thousands of companies remote that would have never done so by choice. While 20% of jobs in the US were fully remote beforehand, this healthcare crisis is accelerating a trend that is good for businesses and workers alike. Remote workers are over 13% more productive than office workers. They leave their jobs at half the rate, and they're happier and healthier because they take the job they want and perform it in the community they love. But remote work has critical differences from the physical office that must be overcome. Remote workers complain of loneliness, and both workers and managers worry about demonstrating productivity. Remote office lacks the spoken and unspoken signals that make up culture and show activity. Imagine yourself in your office. You're sitting in a row of coworkers, and out of the corner of your eye, you get a ton of information. Typing, talking, people taking coffee breaks and having water cooler chats. You might ask your neighbor if she saw the Knicks game last night because you can see her present and relaxed. It's an easy, normal conversation. Now imagine yourself remote. You ask your colleague the same question. He doesn't answer. Is he present? Well, his status is green. Do you ask again later? Well, the I am is there. He'll see it when he gets back, or maybe he already has and is ignoring you because he's busy. You probably won't ask him about last night's Knicks game again. Now repeat this scenario for the hundreds of daily micro-interactions you would get in the physical office, from good morning to goodbye. This friction smothers a team's culture and camaraderie. Existing remote tools were built to facilitate inter rather than intra-group communication. They fail to support the 40-hour-a-week functioning of a fully remote team. Indeed, businesses are scrambling to fill this gap. One of the 100+ users we spoke to gathers his 30-developer team onto Zoom for 2 to 3 hours a day, mics off, just to see each other and feel connected. It's an invasive, overwhelming stopgap. But we at Horizon have a better solution. We reintroduce frictionless speech and body language to the remote office. Here's Horizon. It floats in the top right corner of your screen, kind of like we are on yours. These avatars you see reflect their users' activity, though they're miles away from each other. Let's take a live look at how Horizon works under the covers. Hey, did you guys see the Knicks game last night?
Good, yeah.
You think Leif is really on a call or just doesn't want to talk about it?
I never know with this guy, right?
We animate the avatars using real-time pose detection. Avatars are less invasive than video, but they convey the same important information, like if I'm at my desk or busy. When I want to speak to Will, I can see that he's casually typing. Horizon Speech to Intent AI directs audio so that when I speak specifically to Will, he and only he can hear me as if I'm one desk over. Leif is never interrupted by our voices. However, he can see that our avatars are talking and drop in if he wishes. Horizon does not add an additional window to manage. As Will mentioned, it floats transparently on the screen without embedding the button underneath it. Horizon complements the existing suite of remote work applications. We do not attempt to be better than Zoom at video or Slack at sharing. Instead, we enable all of them with voice-to-intent commands. Our vision is to provide a launch point for two-way authorized voice-enabled RPA. For example, requesting an action from a coworker's computer like search and send. Hey, Will, can you send the Horizon deck? Horizon's NLP algorithm recognizes the request, cues the action, Will responds, sure, an affirmation, and the document is off without interrupting the workflow. This inter-user, inter-device command functionality does not exist right now. The main obstacle is authorization by the second party. Horizon's AI allows for authorization to be given and translated into action. In this way, Horizon will be the platform for automation of the office. Our competition is on average less than 1 year old, and we differentiate in a critical way. Horizon's users don't have to switch to a dashboard or click a nameplate. Our users interact naturally using visual or vocal cues only, because fundamentally, this space is about removing friction from interaction. Horizon will go to market as a premium product, offering free virtual offices for a set period of time that can then be upgraded for continued access. Horizon will serve its first customers in batches, publicly documenting use cases and targeting customer success as measured by uptime and actions delivered. We currently have 4 teams in 3 organizations who have committed to testing our prototype. We will then deliver Horizon to already remote teams who have existing remote work best practices, allowing us to ease into the mass market. Finally, we will target corporate HQs and professional services organizations who have urgent talent and/or attrition problems. Horizon's market is large and growing, conservatively estimated at $1.5 to $4.5 billion. Looking forward, we serve as a foothold for the introduction of AR/VR virtual office. We enable cross-application interaction,
We eliminate geographic barriers to talent, and more importantly, for our users, Horizon makes remote work.
Hi, I'm John Horowitz, and I'm excited to introduce you to Cater. There are so many celebrities that spend their downtime playing video games, but there's no convenient way to monetize this. Furthermore, platforms do not allow the personalization of playing direct games against their fans. COVID has been a huge catalyst for the gaming industry. Traditional sports leagues have replaced physical games with the video game equivalents, many of them inviting athletes and celebrities to play as the simulated teams. Individual players are also looking towards gaming for additional income. Some players are starting to stream, while others are finding it too difficult to set up. You can see Luka Doncic tweeting how to set up his stream on Twitter. And not all celebrities are motivated by additional revenue. Some of them just want to help out with great causes, prompting many big-name celebrities to give away personalized experiences as part of the All-In Challenge. This is why we've created Cater, a marketplace for fans to play direct video game matches against their favorite celebrities. The concept is simple. Celebrities select the games they want to play, assign a price to each one, and include if they're donating that game fee to charity. Fans can then browse the celebrity listings and purchase a match session from celebrities that are listed as online. Cater handles the payment transfer and creates a match room so that they can start their gameplay. Ian will now show you a demo of how it works.
Thanks, John. And while this is a recording of a simulation, Cater is available as a beta application on Apple's Test Flight platform. So we're going to walk you through how a fan can search celebrities and send requests to play against them in their favorite games. On the Cater homepage, fans can find athletes, influencers, musicians, streamers, and more. Right now, we want to play against a Peace by Guy, an Instagram influencer with over 300,000 followers. By clicking into his profile, we can see all the games he wants to play against his fans, like Drawful and Mario Kart. He plays Call of Duty Warzone just like us, so we're going to click in and enter our credit card information thanks to our integration with Stripe. Note that our credit card is not charged now, but rather when we enter a match against Guy. Once we send a match, we can view them in the Sent Requests tab. When Guy logs into his account, he'll be able to see all pending match requests that have been sent to him. He sees our request and accepts it. When he accepts it, he enters what we call the match room and receives next step. On our side, we can see that he's accepted our request, which enables us to enter the match room as well. Once we enter, we'll receive next steps on how to create a party on the specified platform and invite Guy to our game using Cater's proprietary protected celebrity gamer tags. They'll now connect through the game, and Guy can deliver us an unforgettable, personalized gaming experience.
The gaming industry is massive. There are 2.5 billion gamers worldwide, and global spending topped $152 billion in 2019. Monetizing celebrities is also continuing to grow. The influencer market alone is $6.5 billion, and many platforms have helped celebrities monetize outside of their traditional professions. Cameo recently raised a $50 million Series B by allowing celebrities to record short personalized videos for their fans. There are millions of potential suppliers for our marketplace. Cameo already has 15,000 celebrities on board with plans to grow to 5 million. We have identified 2 markets to start with. First, we're working through My Instagram network and with the hyper network of 12 million influencers to onboard the right early suppliers. Second, due to new NCAA guidelines, we will target gamers from the 460,000 student athletes and help them earn their first direct revenue. But the market doesn't stop here. There are gamers in all types of industry who have fans of their own. Special shout out to those astronaut gamers. Our business model is very simple. We take a 25% fee of each match, and the celebrity can either keep that fee or donate it to the charity of their choice. And once we have a mainstream traction and audience, we have other revenue models to explore. Our competitors are different because they require a lengthy time commitment in order to monetize gameplay, and they lack the personalization that Cater permits. In fact, it is well known that creating a Twitch channel is very difficult and time-consuming. Even with my previous company's audience of 14 million followers on Instagram, I was unable to easily work with Twitch to set up a stream. We've worked strategically to get to where we are now. We started by talking with leaders from both gaming and celebrity industries in order to validate our idea and build the right MVP for suppliers. We recently completed user testing and will be testing a beta in June with our early partners. While continuing to onboard suppliers, our team will be building requested features like automatic charity donations, group buying, and timed auctions, which will allow us to remain ahead of potential competition. Our team is perfect fit for Cater's needs. I have experience with early marketplace startups and running a large influencer agency. Ian has experience in product design and software development, which will continue to lead our product, and Andrew will remain on part-time for continued engineering support. We thank you for learning about Cater and challenge you to think of what celebrities you'd want to play in which games.
We have a fundamental belief that great ideas really can come from anywhere. When academic and industries can come together to great value, we saw this as a really great opportunity.
The vision for Big Co Studio is to really teach the students who take the class what it means to navigate and work in a large company, and ultimately how to be a leader and how to build great products that really transform companies.
There is sort of learning on paper or learning in a classroom. It's a whole nother reality to kind of live through how things actually get solved for. How does a company operate?
It's very much a real-world experience. Over the course of 12, 13 weeks, we were pairing our students with companies. We had everyone from Zillow to Carnival Cruise Lines to MasterCard to Uber. Every team delivered a prototype that worked. And the teams, they're made up of students who are in engineering programs, in the MBA program, and in the law program. So each team working with a company represents all the disciplines that you would have inside a large company.
The Big Co I was working with was Carnival Cruises, specifically their guest technology division.
I was open to a greenfield approach where the students could come up with any crazy ideas that they wanted to do, given the constraints of just being on a ship.
So the problem we were really targeting was just getting more information in the hands of crew members, any way that could touch the guest experience. We landed on Odin, which is the Occupancy Data Information Network. Essentially, it's a passive people tracking system that tracks where people are on the ship at any given time.
They were treated very much like senior executives, and they were told this is what we're trying to accomplish, and they came up with the ideas themselves. And so they got a lot of freedom in doing that.
Our ask was to find a way to normalize our structured data. They built a tool that, through some AI and some other algorithms, makes a determination and then scores that determination. We gave them the opportunity to meet with senior management and show what they had built. At this point, we have pieces in multiple different business lines. I think that energized them.
They had so many ideas and so much energy and so much excitement.
I really wanted the opportunity to spend time with the up-and-coming students that are going to shape the world to be.
You're constantly looking for new ideas and fresh perspectives. And one of the places that you get the newest ideas and the freshest perspectives and the closeness to all the new technologies is interacting with students who are just coming out of university settings.
For another company that's considering participating in Big Co Studio, I would say jump right in. It is a unique experience.
This is the shift in model for the way that we innovate, and this is the shift in model for the way that we recruit talent.
Hi, we're Shopper. I'm Danielle, and here's my co-founder, Siu. And while I'm a millennial and she's a Gen Z, and we're early adopters of most technologies, we just can't get on board with online shopping. And that's because what you see is usually not what you get in real life. And we're not alone. 72% of purchases in apparel still happen offline. And the problem comes down to three things according to our research. First, unclear fit and quality, like I demonstrated. Number two, people are really hesitant to pay for something up front before they know they want to keep it. And lastly, everyone hates dealing with returns. However, offline is not really a rejection of online. In fact, 68% of shoppers buy online and then they go pick up in store. That's why we recognize the need for a convergence of channels. We also recognize the need that we need to consider public health. And with the death of the department store looming, we believe that now is the time to reset and reshape the retail industry. That's why we're introducing Shopper. It's a platform offering personalized fitting room experience to test out all your online orders before having to commit. This is a cross-brand platform, no payment before you try, and no hassle of shipping and returns. Here's how it works for our customers. They could shop across all their favorite brands as they do now. When something's interesting to them, they use our browser plugin to add it to a collection and then navigate our site to see all the items they've collected across different websites. Once they're ready, they can book a time and a location for their fitting. We're offering our users 2 different socially distancing friendly try-on location options. One is pop-up shops where we rent a Peerspace location by the hour, and the other is a premium at-home rack delivery. Right now, we've launched a browser plugin as our MVP, but as we look to the future, we're considering other options such as a shopper e-store where we have an API for brands, or a shopper checkout button that will be hosted on the brand's websites. When we look to the competitive landscape, there are some players out there like Stitch Fix who are focused on a different part of the market. They're helping address an issue for shoppers who are overwhelmed by the variety that exists online and want to be told what they should wear. Shoppers for a different person. Shoppers for those of us who love the variety that exists online, but we still want that in-person physical opportunity to try on our clothes.
We know shoppers are gonna love us, and the parent brands too, because we are here to help 2 major problems that are suffering with e-commerce. First is a high return rate. E-commerce return rate is 3 times higher than traditional stores, causing $183 billion loss for the industry each year. The second problem is a low conversion rate and consequently high acquisition cost. The channel combining physical presence and online data creates new opportunities to help. Now every brand only has its own data, but we have data from all different brands across the user shopping journey. We are building a cross-brand data model as a service for the brands. If the brands want to reach new customers or promote a new collection, our recommendation model can help identify and reach potential customers and put the items right in front of them. Another case is when the items comes all its way here, but it's not purchased by the original customer who ordered it. We can find customers in the same region with similar style and size. We're developing a network of logistics to let these people have a try during their fittings to avoid returns as much as possible. Using our platform, smaller brands can have AI-powered size recommendations at the same level, if not better, that giants now have. Our business model is valuable for both shoppers and brands. We are testing 3 different sources of revenue: a subscription fee on the customer side, and brands can pay for online and in-person targeted ads. They also engage through partnerships like acquire commission on sales. We are testing our model on different customer sectors. Our first round is a 2-week test, mostly on contents. All of our appointments result in a purchase. We are so excited that 2 out of 10 customers bought something we recommended, and 2 customers reach out to us through referral from their friends. With this college student group, we validate people's enthusiasm of the experience. But it turns out that students only have so much to spend. In the coming month, we've identified 3 target audiences who love to shop, want to try on styles, and can invest more money to enhance their wardrobe. We have received many good feedbacks, saying it's very easy and bring back the joy of exploring and shopping. Retail is one of the largest industries in the United States. We know it is a hard time, but we also know people still want to look good when they can finally go out. People still want to shop for themselves and loved ones. We just need a safer and a smarter way to shop. Thank you, and welcome to scan the QR code to join our beta test.
Hi, we are On4. Meet Darlingside. They just released their first album and received 34 cents per 1,000 streams on Spotify. This isn't enough. To promote their music, they go on tour, but they still can't reach all of their fans. After all of their touring expenses, Darlingside ends up losing money. Musicians like Darlingside often have no choice but to deal with the grind of touring in order to reach their fans and stay afloat. With tours getting canceled for the foreseeable future due to COVID-19, even touring is no longer a possibility. If musicians want to keep performing, they only have one option: live streaming. However, none of these live streaming platforms offer ticketing. Twitch and YouTube Live are hard to set up, and Zoom and Instagram Live aren't built for the high quality that fans and musicians expect from a concert. Even household names like Coldplay and John Legend have used live streaming to stay in touch with their fans. Most have resorted to Instagram Live due to its ease of use. While they reach millions of fans, their concerts have netted them a grand total of $0. Musicians are looking for a solution now. Introducing On4, the premier live streaming concert platform designed and built for musicians. Live music and touring will never be the same, and optimizing the digital experience for both musicians and fans is critical to the future of live music. We are empowering musicians like Darlingside and giving them more control over their careers.
On4 will put more money in musicians' hands. We're enabling ticketed events and giving musicians the ability to monetize their stream in multiple ways. Live streaming is a very involved and disjointed process. It requires downloading tons of external software and plugins. It is so hard that people are even selling books to help navigate the confusing setup process. We are integrating all the software required to live stream into our platform so that no technical know-how is needed. When collaborating in music, timing is everything. We're building innovative technology that lowers the audio delays to be unnoticeable, allowing band members to reliably perform together from different locations in real time. We're ensuring an incredible experience for both fans and musicians by providing unique fan interactions, a dashboard to help musicians understand how fans are interacting with their content, and pristine audio and video quality. Due to the constraint of presenting on Zoom, we encourage you to check out the clips from our past shows at on4.live to fully experience the quality of our product.
Half of the $52 billion music industry comes from live concert. Live streaming has been growing consistently since before the pandemic, and we are tapping into this trend to augment ticket sales. We see our primary competitor as Twitch and Baidu World Market. Twitch is gaming focused, which has led to a subscription and donation monetization model. This is not ideal for musicians who are not willing to stream all the time. Baidu World Market has outsourced tech and has limited flexibility for further innovations. During our first show with Jonathan Daly, almost 100 fans stayed for the whole show, including attendees from Brazil, Singapore, and Spain, and we received over $1,400 in donations. John quickly booked his next show for May 10th and recommended our platform to other musicians.
Fans follow musicians, and musicians follow musicians. We've already hit the ground running and have scheduled 9 shows. As we expand our early network, our organic growth will increase significantly due to referrals and fan exposure. The core of our business is selling tickets with the option for additional donations during the stream. We mimic traditional 30-70 revenue splits with musicians while providing them with the benefits of performing remotely and additional ways of making money. We have already hosted a couple of donation-only performances on our platform and have a beta version of chat. Ticketing was deployed for our Mother's Day concert on May 10th, and other features will be finalized in the near future. We are all musicians, and we have a diverse set of skills. We empathize with the musicians brave enough to pursue music full-time, and we are passionate about providing them with what they need to succeed. We are On4. We thank you for your time, and we hope you help us reimagine the future of live music.
Hi, I'm David Stein, and this is Kyle Waters, and we are co-founders of Ash. So 2 years ago, I was on a train ride back to DC when I received a text message from a sexual partner that read, "Hey, you might want to get tested for chlamydia." I was so freaked out at the time. I didn't know what to do or where to go. I realized that the thing that I should be doing is going to get tested. And I ended up at an urgent care where I was met with an extremely awkward and uncomfortable conversation with a front desk agent. The sexually transmitted infection testing experience starts with a dated and awkward conversation. I had to tell a doctor, a nurse, and a phlebotomist why I was there. I had to answer questions like how many partners I'd had in the last 12 months, conversations that no one wants to have in person. And you don't just have to take my word for it. You can go look at any number of the Google reviews online to see how horrible the customer service experience is and realize that for me, that my experience wasn't an isolated one. And when I looked into this problem further, I realized STIs are a huge problem. STI infection rates have been increasing for the past 5 years in America. And we believe this is because as a society, we're redefining the relationship with sex. We're having more casual hookups, we're connecting via apps, and we've seen an overall decrease in the marriage rate. And this means people are turning to Reddit to community diagnose STIs. People literally posting pictures of their genitals rather than going through the current STI testing experience. And that's why we've started ASH. ASH is a sexual health and wellness company reimagining the STI testing experience. At ASH, we believe if you're sexually active, you should be getting tested regularly and routinely for STIs.
ASH fills a gap in the market by providing comprehensive and convenient STI testing. We do this through subscription gonorrhea and chlamydia at-home test kits. Our kits are tailored to your sexual activity, not your gender. This is important because, for example, as a gay man, if I were to take another standard home kit, I would be asked just for urine, but that wouldn't detect oral or rectal gonorrhea and chlamydia, which my sexual activity puts me at risk for. So we start with a short questionnaire about your sexual activity. No awkward doctor conversations. Next, you'll receive your kit within 2 to 3 days. Inside, you'll find simple instructions about how you go about collecting your samples. And then, upon returning that kit in its prepaid envelope, within 48 hours, our CLIA-certified lab tests your samples and provides your results through our secure online portal. Our kits sell for $79, and at scale, we can achieve a 55% operating margin. And the reason that this entire new experience is so important is that every sexually active person needs this product. Over 110 million people in the US are unmarried and over 18. And 50% of the US population will contract an STI by the age of 25. That's huge. In fact, it translates to an $8.7 billion total addressable market for ASH. And we only expect this to continue to grow as at-home point of care becomes the norm as a result of COVID-19. Testing as a service is one of the first things people are going to look to adopt, and we can already see this transition occurring globally. Our beachhead customer is sexually active gay men who are willing to pay for convenience. These men are already engaged in their sexual health. In fact, most are already on PrEP, a once-daily pill for HIV, which requires quarterly testing. But in addition to that required testing, they're going out and getting tested 3 to 4 more times a year. They want to get tested, they just hate the current experience. They represent about $104 million of our total addressable market. And we're excited about this because we're doing this for our own communities. Every ASH team member has been impacted by a lack of resources around managing their sexual health. And with the help of our advisors, we're creating content and experience to address this gap, which enables us to create this strong relationship with our customers. Through video campaigns, Instagram polls, and blog posts, we have started to interact with a community that really wants ASH. More concretely, this translates to 125% month-over-month follower growth on our Instagram, a 2.8% conversion rate in our onboarding flow on our website, and 20 paying pilot customers with 100 more customers waiting. All of this is supported by a HIPAA-compliant commerce experience that we have developed in partnership with our launch lab partner. And we have 3 additional labs on the way as we look to expand our capacity. At ASH, we love and celebrate the fact that as a society, we have redefined our relationship with sex. Now it's time to redefine our relationship with STI testing.
Moving from academia to the real world is very challenging. My PhD was an amazing experience for me, but at some point I felt that all the work is being summarized into an article that you publish.
Runway was a really great bridge, 1 foot in academia and 1 foot in industry.
At the end, you are building a business. It is not a research project. An article is not enough. You need to bring it to the market.
With the Runway program at Jacobs Institute, they taught me how you can turn a PhD into a CEO, which not only has the toolbox to build the product, but also go-to-market strategy, product market fit, and many other things that as an academic you don't think about at all. One of the unique things about the portfolio companies of the Runway program, every single one of them has been built on a very deep technology that is incredibly hard to replicate, and it needs its own special type of support to build and scale.
Innovating in the healthcare industry is very challenging.
Hospitals tend to use technology that they're familiar with, and they also change very slowly. Being at the Jacobs Institute allowed us to start those pilots and engagements with hospitals.
One of the major benefits in the Runway program is the access to very experienced mentors. The president of the Technion, he is one of the founders of sleep medicine. It really helped connect me to top researchers in this field to create this value proposition from bottom up.
We launched from the Runway program in 2016. We built out a minimum viable product, which we've implemented in 5 hospitals.
We are now working to prepare the product for our FDA submission. Today we sell in all North America, in all major channels.
We hit a major milestone. We're operating in 8 different states and collected over 100 million square foot worth of construction data.
At some point you need to have your wings. This is your company. Maybe this is why you call it a runway. You know, it's a runway and at the end you need to fly.
Hi, I'm Vineet Fathi. I'll be graduating in May from Cornell Tech with an MEng in ECE. My background is in deep learning and neuroengineering.
And I'm Ishan. I'm an undergrad at MIT, and I'm double majoring in mechanical engineering with a concentration in computer science and a management degree from Sloan. I have extensive experience in robotics and 3D modeling.
Our mission is to create affordable, non-invasive neuroprosthetic brain control interfaces that can restore near natural functionality. Let me share the story of how I got involved in this field. 2 years ago, my mother got very sick. It got so bad that doctors had to amputate her hand to save her life. My mother, who's always been so active and independent, suddenly found herself struggling with even simple, mundane tasks. I thought when she got a prosthetic, it would fix everything. It didn't. This is a story shared by hundreds of thousands. Today, there are nearly 400,000 upper limb amputees. By 2050, this number is expected to double. Every hour, 3 people become upper limb amputees. That's 72 people a day. Unfortunately, despite the ever-growing need, today's prosthetics are simply inadequate. Why is that? The bionic hand is actually pretty good, but the control interface, the algorithm that controls the prosthetic, not so much. It limits the functionality of the prosthetic. In fact, current control interfaces do not even have the potential for individual digit control and are based on unintuitive and unnatural design. Many amputees find them so frustrating to use, they give up on using their prosthetics altogether. Upper limb prosthetics have a 60% dropout rate. That means that 6 out of every 10 amputees would rather use nothing than use their prosthetic. We need a better solution, and this is where Invictus BCI comes in.
So rather than trying to do a better version of what everyone else has been doing, we decided to take a step back outside the box and explore the new cutting-edge tech to create a system that allows more natural and intuitive use of the prosthetic hands. Currently, amputees are trained to use their prosthetic hands. We decided to make an algorithm so intuitive that they can use prosthetic hands effortlessly. And that's exactly what we've done. We record brain waves and muscle signals, and then our proprietary machine learning algorithm decodes these signals into different hand movements. By tapping into the same neural pathways used by the human hand, our BCI gives natural control. Here's how it works. Brain waves are recorded from the headset and muscle signals from EMG sensors on our arm. In the final product, this headset will be headphones embedded with the EEG sensors and EMG sensors embedded into the sleeve of the prosthetic. The headphones and the sleeves are worn only when using the prosthetic hand. Everything is completely non-invasive.
While state-of-the-art control systems need external controls like a button or app to change grips, our BCI can already switch between the 6 most common grips without any external controls. In future, our design will offer individual digit control. With Invictus BCI, you can control your prosthetic the same way you control your hand. Due to COVID-19, we did not have access to the maker labs of Cornell or MIT, so we were unable to print the hardware. Here's a video of our algorithm decoding the 6 most common grasps. Right now, a mid-range prosthetic for around $45,000 is significantly inferior to a high-end prosthetic at around $84,000. But when you take that mid-range prosthetic and you combine it with our BCI, it has greater or equal functionality to the high-end prosthetic. So you can get a superior product while saving $30,000. Our BCI will improve the functionality of prosthetics at all price points. Low-range prosthetics will become capable of mid-range performance. Mid-range prosthetics will perform like high-end prosthetics. And high-end prosthetics will be elevated even further to something beyond what is currently available. We have a unique win-win value proposition. Insurance companies save money. Clients get state-of-the-art life-changing BCI, and prosthetic manufacturers get to offer superior product. Our profit margin is 66%. The total available market in the United States is $3.5 billion. By leveraging new advances in deep learning and neuroengineering, we have created a BCI that offers the highest functionality for the lowest cost. It's that simple. As a team, we bring together a strong combination of technical skills, passion, and out-of-the-box thinking. My brother and I are determined to make this a success. We're happy to share that Invictus BCI won first place in the Cornell LCL and MIT pair competitions. I would like to thank our advisors. We would not be here without their support and guidance. Our company is named after Henley's poem Invictus, unconquerable. Right now, amputation is something that must be endured. There's nothing that can be done to restore your hand once you've lost it. That is, until now. Invictus BCI has the potential to help millions of people. Please lend us your support on this journey. Thank you.
Hi, we're One Place, the family hub to keep us safe, prepared, and organized for all of life's moments. We want to start off with a couple questions.
Where's your birth certificate? Do you have a copy of your passport?
Did you save it in your email inbox on your work computer? Do you have the right insurance?
Should you have a living will? Should your parents? Maybe you should just call your mom.
So why is this so stressful? Well, it's because no one feels like their important family information is easily accessible, safe, and organized. So we're One Place. We are a family operating system. Our secure platform allows families to understand and organize their most important information together, but we also provide a guided user experience to ensure that we're all actually prepared to make the most out of life's moments. We'll go into that later on. Right now, let's take a look at the market. Because we know that every family needs a system, the problem is that system today is a spreadsheet. None of these other products offer a personalized, secure, and simple tool to serve the needs of families. This is the gap in the market that we fill. Let's jump over to a demo now to show you how. This is the easy to understand document storage system that we present to all users in a way that allows you to track progress on what most people need to be keeping track of together, and also see the different faces of our family members who are here with us. But now that we know our information is secure and organized, let's talk about the core value of our product. And that's really the ability to help users be prepared for all of life's moments with just one click. We call these moments chapters. So a One Place chapter helps families instantly understand important details they need to manage and thrive together no matter what the situation. With one click, a chapter tells me everything I need to have prepared for a specific event, both as an individual and as a group, so that I don't need to spend any time stressing or worrying about missing something. New chapters are pre-populated by One Place based on your user profile, and community chapters are anonymized and can be shared by other One Place users to benefit the rest of the platform. So given the state of the world, I'm going to select the COVID readiness chapter. God forbid someone in my family is showing symptoms and they need to see a doctor. Here's everything automatically pulled from my One Place. Amazing. It looks like I'm ready, and I can now help the rest of my family do the same. I can now easily download copies of all of these documents into one simple PDF and add COVID readiness as a chapter to my One Place so that it can be easily accessed going forward. So if anyone now gets sick and needs to be taken to the hospital, we're ready. And if I want to check in on how my mom's doing with her chapters, I can help out with whatever she allows me to view and access. This is just one of the many superpowers of OnePlace. And I think it shows how one click in one place can really make all the difference.
So we're super excited. We have 50 families signed up to be in our first cohort of users. And we've also been completely overwhelmed by the amount of outreach we've had from people on social media saying that they desperately need this product and what a big impact it would make on their families. So our pricing plan is incredibly competitive, about 20% lower than our competitors. So we're pricing our product at $54 a year. And we believe that we can impact millions of families in the US with an addressable market of 128 million. So why should people use OnePlace? We offer a guided experience for families customizable to their needs. And we also offer state-of-the-art security with two-factor authentication and encryption.
Market timing is also important for two main reasons. Firstly, we're just seeing an accelerated rise in adoption of software to manage people's daily lives, especially in subscriptions and especially in cloud storage. So we think that where some ideas didn't work in the past, we're actually pretty well positioned to try again. And secondly, we're in the midst of a global pandemic. Families need this more than ever, and it's super top of mind for them, and we've got their backs. Lastly, we showed you those solutions that are out there already today. They serve a general population for general tasks and general use cases, but we're customized to serve small groups with essential needs. The overarching mission at OnePlace is to unite families at a practical and also an emotional level using technology. So we're really excited to see you all together in OnePlace. Thank you.
We want to talk to you about improving group relationships in video games with Crew. In today's increasingly digital life, gaming is providing groups a shared experience, forging adversity, and common purpose. It's dynamic, exciting, and fun, but like all good things, it must come to an end. 1 minute, you're fighting a digital wasteland, and the next, you're making sad nachos alone in the kitchen. But wait, you got a text from your friend. Oh, it says, "Good game." That's kind of a letdown after an exciting 2-hour game session. What you wanted to see is this.
It's been a minute since the boys got on the sticks, but I'm feeling good.
I think I want to see more of that good Sigma action. This game sucked.
A little disappointed that the critics think my gameplay is in decline.
Let me tell you something, Crew.
I can't carry this team every night.
I know you're gonna miss me tonight, but it's gonna be just fine.
Crew is a micro-networking and content creation platform for gamers that connects to the communication services they already use. It encourages team engagement by distilling their gameplay experiences into conversation pieces. The main way conversations start is through Crew videos. These are content creation prompts that ask the user a question that they can respond to in many different ways. A user can be asked a question through the app, like a reporter asking an athlete a question about being the game's MVP. They could be asked by their fellow group members or answer each one on their own. Each prompt is accompanied by suggested creation options, or they can create their own custom content by uploading a video, selfie, or GIF. Now let's see this in action. My friend and I are finishing a game of Call of Duty Warzone. We've defeated 99 other players and are looking for one other person. If we get him, we win.
I think I just saw a scope.
It's an exciting moment to celebrate. My friend sends me a Crew video prompt, and here's my response. Took long enough to get the recognition. I'm not saying I need it. I already have it. 2-time champion. This video is uploaded to the group activity feed, the main section of the app where group members can see it along with the stats, highlights, and previous game sessions. Now that is a much more dynamic way to continue a gameplay experience with your friends.
Now that you've seen Crew in action, let's take a look at the video game industry and how Crew fits into it. The average age of a gamer today is 34 years old, and they're not playing alone. They're playing in groups with their friends. This community is 2.5 billion strong worldwide, and the industry itself is expected to reach $300 billion by 2025. This loop is how these gaming groups operate. First, they schedule a session over text or chat. Then they get online and wait for everybody else, and then they play the game. After the game is over, they disconnect and there's a socialization drop-off. This drop-off is bad not only for the player and the group, but also for the brands and video game companies that are no longer connected to them, because this everyday life period can last for hours and often days. By inserting crew into the loop at this point, the gamers can leave the game and bring the joy of playing games with their friends into their everyday lives. And every time gamers use crew, these touch points are an opportunity for these brands and video game publishers to have access to them while they're off game. This is important because last year, video game publishers lost hundreds of millions of dollars to player churn, and brands spent $1.5 billion trying to advertise to gamers. Our business model is a freemium subscription service supported by these brand sponsorships. The paid side is supported by the subscription service and sales of team merchandise. There's 211 million gamers in the US, and 63% of them, or 133 million, play games with others in these groups that we're targeting. Millennial gamers spend $112 per month on gaming services and products, and they spend over 7 hours a week playing games, and these numbers are increasing across all demographics. We launched a test version of Crew as a chatbot on Discord, a popular communication app in gaming. We launched a month ago to 7 teams, or what we call crews. The initial reaction has been great. We're getting an 80% response rate to first-time video prompts, and we've been taking user feedback to improve features and solidify the timing and content of these brand touchpoints. Since we launched the alpha, we're solidly in phase 1 of our product, and we're working on incorporating these learnings into our beta app, which we plan to launch in June. We're also in talks with Ivy League college esports teams and streamers to onboard them to help us test. We're excited about building our team so we can scale to meet the 50,000 crew goal that we have by next May. I've been in web development for over 10 years, and I've experience in previous startups. Eddie has been doing digital marketing and audience development for 5 years. Ichi is our amazing designer, and we're all avid gamers, and we're excited about bringing crew to the community. Thank you.
We're Buzzer, and we're connecting your phone to your intercom. My name is Tony Liebel, an MBA at Cornell Tech and former operations consultant. My co-founder, Jeremy Walker, is an electrical and computer engineer. This is an old walk-up building, and it has a buzzer system that is often over 80 years old. It is very frustrating to the people that live in the building because they miss packages and can't let their guests in if they are not home. And landlords are not upgrading these systems because it is very costly and disruptive for them to do so. Companies you may know, like Ring, don't offer any products for these old buildings, limiting people's options. While that old buzzer system is annoying for people such as renters, owners, and landlords, it is also causing all types of headaches for those brands that depend on getting in your building's front door. Brands like Amazon Fresh for your groceries or UPS for your shipments. And this is our solution, a beautiful piece of hardware called Buzzer Pro. Buzzer Pro is super easy to install and allows anyone, including renters, to upgrade the way they interact with their front door. The key to Buzzer is that we only replace the intercom that is in the apartment and nothing else. It's as easy to install as a Nest thermostat, and it empowers anyone in an old building to live in the future. Let's see it in action.
Hi, who is it?
I'm trying to drop off a package.
While those features are great, we're also working on functionality to provide virtual keys to trusted parties and integrate directly with shipping companies. In addition, we offer over a year of battery life. Now, let's talk about competition. Before Buzzer, your options were pretty limited. You could either leave notes at your front door for the UPS guy, or you could convince your landlord to spend over $5,000 to upgrade your entire building and then live through that renovation project. This is exactly what our competitors like Latch and Butterfly MX want you to do. How about instead, you pay $189 with a $6 per month subscription and install it on your own in less than 15 minutes. And if that doesn't fit your budget, we have another option, Buzzer Mini, a non-audio version of Buzzer for $8 per month. The beauty of Buzzer Mini is we can produce them for less than $12. So, how many apartments could actually use a product like Buzzer? The answer is 20 million compatible apartments in just the oldest metros in the US and Canada. The older the city, the more likely Buzzer is compatible. Those older cities are global, and they represent 125 million total units. To further expand on that number, we estimate our total addressable market to be $24 billion and over $4 billion in annual subscription revenues. And guess what? People want Buzzer. We validated demand through a social media campaign. In less than 24 hours, we had over 60 people sign up for our beta test and could boast a $1.50 acquisition cost. When we spoke to people that signed up, we found that they were renters, landlords, co-op board members, and brokers that all have been looking for this exact solution.
Now it's time to get technical. Buzzer is built to be universally compatible with all legacy systems. We've achieved this through patentable technology to transmit audio from the building to your phone, as well as proprietary circuitry that isolates our product from interfering with anything in the building. And we've confirmed this across 24 different systems. We are well on our way to getting our product into the hands of those that are eagerly awaiting it. The Buzzer enclosure has been finalized for mass production. Our circuit boards are built for both Buzzer Mini and Buzzer Pro, and our app is live on the Apple App Store. And not only is it built, we are proud that it is already installed and in people's homes.
Our go-to-market plan is to sell directly to those living in apartments to prove to landlords that you want the product. We're also going to be very friendly with those brands that are frustrated with your front door. Our goal is to be the solutions partner to anyone or any company trying to get into the front door of apartment buildings through easy and secure integrations with our hardware. We're Buzzer. Go to getbuzzer.com and sign up to bring your apartment into the future. Thank you.
Hi, and thank you for joining us on our first virtual Open Studio. I'm here live on the Cornell Tech campus, and we are joined virtually by the finalists whom you just saw. Everyone, let's give our audience a quick wave. There they are. Good to see all of you. I hope you all enjoyed the presentations. We are so proud of the finalists and all of the teams that have persevered through our Spring Studio program through conditions that no one expected when we started. In a few minutes, you will have an opportunity to connect with the finalists and learn more about them by scrolling down on the Open Studio website. All of the teams were excellent, but our job is to pick the top 4 winners who will each receive a $100,000 investment from Cornell Tech to continue to build their company. To do this, we assembled a panel that includes leadership from Cornell Tech and a group of accomplished external investors and practitioners, and our thanks go to that panel. On the panel, we have Irene Au of Khosla Ventures, Thatcher Bell, our head of Startup Studio, Morgan Beller of Calibra, Professor Tanzim Chowdhury of Cornell Tech, Professor and Associate Dean Deborah Estrin of Cornell Tech, Fernando Gomez Vaquero, our Director of Runway and Spinouts at Cornell Tech, Aaron Holiday of Cornell Tech and also co-founder of 645 Ventures, Liza Landsman of New Enterprise Associates, Lad Lakshan, co-founder of Turtle and a past Cornell Tech spinout, our Dean and Vice Provost, Greg Morissette, Neve O'Hara of Biosha, a Cornell Tech runway startup, Judy Spitz of Cornell Tech and Executive Director of Breakthrough Tech, Caitlin Strandberg of Lara Hippo, Mayo Stunts of Bessemer, David Tisch of Box Group. David was the first head of Startup Studio, and we are grateful for his continued involvement. And finally, Jay Walker, founder of Priceline, and more recently, Appaject and TEDmed. Real-world engagement is essential to everything we do in the studio, so we deeply thank our panel for the care that they took to evaluate each of the teams and provide insightful feedback. The judges on the panel are a snapshot of the hundreds of leaders from industry who have supported the studio and Cornell Tech, joining countless video feedback sessions to make this year a success despite these unusual circumstances. We came together to choose the 4 winners of the $100,000 investment, but we also picked a runner-up who will be offered resources and support from the Cornell Tech spin-out team. But one more thing before we get to the winners, I do want to take another moment to thank our studio team, Leandra Elberger and Tyler Rorick, and our Spring Studio instructors, Thatcher Bell, Chad Dickerson, and Bradley Horowitz, who themselves adapted to our new format and created an exceptionally successful semester. And of course, thank you to the Cornell Tech faculty and academic leadership who are steadfast supporters of the studio. So I know everyone is anxiously awaiting the decision, so let's get to it. Our first award winner came together in Israel over winter break to solve a real need in our hospital system. Their traction and dedication really impressed the judges. So congratulations en route.
Hey, thank you so much. Shout out to Mike Matan, everyone in Israel. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
Great. It's hard not to be moved by the personal story behind our second winner. We are pleased to support a founder with a deep tech product that is sure to change lives. Congratulations, Invictus BCI.
Thank you so much. I really want to thank Cornell Tech so much for giving me this opportunity and all the instructors for all their help. Thank you.
Our third winner has identified an important problem that families face and is using sleek design and technology to make staying organized a lot easier. Congratulations, One Place.
This is super exciting. Thanks everyone who tuned in today to check it out, and big thank you to the Cornell Tech studio team for helping us grow over the year, and we're pumped to keep building. Thanks.
And our fourth winner has been hustling since first arriving at Cornell Tech and probably before. Tenants across the country and around the world will soon be able to control access to their homes with a single click. Congratulations, Buzzer.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for everybody that's offered so much support along the way, and looking forward to getting Buzzer out into the world. Thank you.
While we can only provide financial support to 4 companies, there is one more company that struck us with their promise and energy, and we're pleased to name this company as a runner-up and provide them with support through access to our Cornell Tech spin-out team and the weekly scrums with all the spin-outs and runways, founder networking events, investor introductions, and much more. Please join me congratulating as a runner-up, Ash. So congratulations again to the Startup Award winners. During the program, you only saw 10 of the dozens of teams that built incredible things this semester at Cornell Tech. So now you have a chance to connect with some of those teams during our live breakout rooms. You can join any of the 9 breakout rooms by scrolling down and clicking on the button to join a Zoom room, where you'll hear from some student teams and have a chance to ask them questions. So thank you again, and we hope you'll stick around and explore. Stay safe and good day.